हरि ओम। ओम गणानाहं त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदानश्चण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे श्रीगुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम श्री शङ्कराचार्य स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। We can call now.
Lalita K. Bagini. Yes, sir. Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Agnirjyotirah Shuklaha Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Vido Janaha.
Good.
Bhanureka Bagini.
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
धूमो रात्रिस्तथा कृष्णः षण्मासा दक्षिणायनम् तत्र चान्द्रमसञ्ज्योतिः योगी प्राप्य निवर्तते।
Good.
Veena Panisri.
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
शुक्ल कृष्णे गतिह्येते जगतः शाश्वते मते एकया याप्यनावृत्तिम् अन्यया वर्तते पुनः।
Good.
Dr. Sri Lakshmi.
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
नैते श्रुति पार्थ जानन्योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन।
No, the first padam is Naite Stuti Partha Janan Yogi Mukhyati Kashchana. You stopped at Partha only.
Yeah, I'll just repeat it, sir.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
नैते श्रुति पार्थ जानम योगी मुह्यति कश्चन. Is it right, sir?
That is correct.
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन.
Just for the benefit of everybody, this is called Anushtup meter, therefore 8 aksharams are supposed to be one padam. Nai, te, sru, ti, par, ta, ja, nan. Understand? So 8, if you use that 8, it will be perfectly all right. Again, I am repeating, nai, te, sru, ti, par, ta, ja, nan. 8. Then it will not have, you will not have any problem with it. Okay?
Should I repeat that, sir? Should I say
repeat
it again? Yeah.
Yes.
नैते श्रुति पार्थ जानन् योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन.
Good.
Sharachavan Mahodaya.
वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपस्सु यवेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपसु चैव दानेषु यज्ञ पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति पश्चादयम् वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपस्सु चैव दानेषु यज्ञ पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति साधयम्.
Okay, there are some mistakes we corrected. Anyhow, you will be able to correct it by the video that we got. Now, one more person can chant this, please.
ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ ಭಗಿನಿ.
येषु यज्ञेषु चैव दानेषु यज्ञफलम्.
Audio is not good. Is there any problem in your system?
ಉಷಾ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸನ್ ಭಗಿನಿ.
Yes, sir.
The audio was not okay. Now it's okay. Now we could hear you.
Shall I recite now, sir?
Yeah, you say it now.
Okay. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pratishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanamupaithi chadyam.
Good. Next.
ಉಷಾ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸನ್ ಭಗಿನಿ.
नमस्ते महोदय.
Namaste.
ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायै योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे अक्षरब्रह्मयोगो नाम अष्टमोऽध्यायः.
Brahma Vidyayai. I heard it, Yayai. Brahma Vidyayam. If you are going to break it there, you can just say Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre. If you are not breaking there, Brahma Vidyaya Yoga Shastre. No, not Yayai. It is Yayai.
याय. Okay, sir.
Again?
ब्रह्मविद्यायाय. Thank you, sir.
Can you repeat again? Chant again.
ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे अक्षरब्रह्मयोगो नाम अष्टमोऽध्यायः.
Good. So with this successfully we have completed the chapter 8 and today we'll move to chapter 9. So I'll be sharing the chapter 9 slides. Just wait for a minute. You could see the screen now? The screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. You can call the devotees.
ಅನುಪಮಾ ಭಟ್ ಭಗಿನಿ.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha Atha Navamodhyayah Raja Vidya Rajagupya Yogaha.
ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः अथ नवमोऽध्यायः राजविद्या राजगुह्ययोगः
Once again.
लक्ष्मी बीवी भगिनी
परमात्मने नमः। अथ नवमोऽध्यायः राजविद्या राजगुह्ययोगः।
Good.
लक्ष्मी बीवी भगिनी
Yes.
श्रीभगवानुवाच इदं तु ते गुह्यतमम्
श्रीभगवानुवाच इदं तु ते गुह्यतमम् श्रीभगवानुवाच इदं तु ते गुह्यतमम्
प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे
प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे
इदं तु ते गुह्यतमम् प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे
इदं तु ते गुह्यतमम् प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे इदं तु ते गुह्यतमम् प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे।
नेक्स्ट
राजलक्ष्मी भगिनी
ज्ञानौ विज्ञानसहितं
ज्ञानं विज्ञानसहितं ज्ञानं विज्ञानसहितं
यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात्
यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात् यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात्
ज्ञानौ विज्ञानसहितं यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात्
ज्ञानं विज्ञानसहितं यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात् ज्ञानं विज्ञानसहितं यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात्।
नेक्स्ट
विजयलक्ष्मी राजेश कुमार भगिनी
इदं तु ते गुह्यतमं प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे
इदं तु ते गुह्यतमं प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे इदं तु ते गुह्यतमं प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे।
गुड
राजेश्वरी शिवशंकर भगिनी
ज्ञानौ विज्ञानसहितं यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात्।
नमस्ते सर।
नमस्ते।
ज्ञानौ विज्ञानसहितं यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात् ज्ञानौ विज्ञानसहितं यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात्।
गुड
शीला शिंदे भगिनी
फर्स्ट लाइन 2 times।
श्रीभगवान् उवाच इदं तु ते गुह्यतमं प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे इदं तु ते गुह्यतमं प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे। Yes, sir.
The two was sounding to me like a dirgha. Idam tute. I heard idam tute. Idam tute guhyatamam pravakshyam yanasuyave.
इदं तु ते गुह्यतमं प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे इदं तु ते गुह्यतमं प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे।
You are still saying two. Idam tute, not tute. Idam tute guhyatamam pravakshyam yanasuyave.
इदं तु ते
Right.
इदं तु ते गुह्यतमं प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे इदं तु ते गुह्यतमं प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे।
Good. Next. Second line 2 times.
मृणालिनी भगिनी
Online.
Second line.
ज्ञानौ विज्ञानसदितं यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात् ज्ञानौ विज्ञानसदितं यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात्
Good. Next.
Gurumurti Mahodaya.
The entire Shloka from Bhagavan Uvacha. Shri.Balavan Uvacha.
Shri.Balavan Uvacha Idantu te guhyatamam pravakshyamyanusuyave jnano vijnana sahidam yajnatva mokshase shubhat.
Okay, good. Next.
Lalita K. Bhagini.
Yes, sir.
The full Shloka.
Shri.Bhagavan Idantu te guhyatamam pravakshyamyanasuyave jnanau vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase shubhat.
Good. Next.
Kashmira Bhagini.
Yes, sir. Shri.Bhagavan Idantu te guhyatamam pravakshyamyanasuyave jnanau vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase shubhat.
Good. Next.
Dr. Sri Lakshmi Bhagini.
Yes, sir. Full shloka, sir.
Yeah.
Shri.Bhagavan Idantu te guhyatamam pravakshyamyanasuyave jnanau vijnanasahitam yajnatva mokshase shubhat.
Good. Next.
Veena Panisri Bhagini.
Shri.Bhagavan Idantu te guhyatamam pravakshyamyanasuyave jnanau vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase subhat.
Good. Next.
Bhanureka Bhagini.
Yes. Shri.Bhagavan Idantu te guhyatamam pravakshyamyanasuyave jnanau vijnanasahitam yajnatva mokshase shubhat.
Good. One more person.
Sharat Chavan Mahodaya.
Madam. Sir. Full
Yeah, full
Shloka.
Shloka. Yeah, full Shloka slowly.
Sir. Shri.Bhagavan Uvacha idam tute guhyatamam pravakshyamyana suyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase shubhat.
Good. Okay, so we'll go to the meaning of the Shloka. So this is the new chapter that we have taken up now.
Sir, this was correct?
Yeah, it was correct.
Okay.
So the new chapter we have taken now. Sorry. Is called Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yoga. In fact, Raja Vidya. Vidya means knowledge. Guhya means secret. Okay. Raja Vidya means king of knowledge and king of secret. So Bhagavan says that I am now going to talk to you about the king of secret and king of knowledge. Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yoga. When you now in the last chapter we were talking about Akshara Brahma Yoga, where the Brahma, the absolute Brahman had been discussed, and we also had discussed at length about what is the kind of path the soul takes. The soul means Sukshma Sarira takes, Sukshma Sarira takes on departure, on the leaving this particular body. And then there was also Upasana that was talked about, that Om Upasana was talked about. And then also the kind of posture and how the body, how the person should prepare, the yogi prepares himself for his last breath was talked about. And then Bhagavan also talked about two different paths that is taken by the noble souls, the what is that? The yogic souls. That is, one is the path of Uttarayana, which is also called Deva Ayana, or path of light, where the souls will take the path of light, does not return back. And then the other one is Dakshinayana, that is path of Pitrus or Pitru Ayana. And those souls that take that particular route, again they go to heaven and they enjoy the kinds of fruits of the punya they have done. And then they again come back to the earth and get again reborn into a good family, and they proceed with their spiritual journey. So Bhagavan was talking about all these things, and then he also said in the case of Brahma Loka also, whoever goes to Brahma Loka, there again Brahma will be able to provide that with Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti is that gradually they'll be made to realize themselves. The Krama Mukti is a process in which the person takes a long period of time in getting into that realization. And in the case of Brahma Loka, it is told in our scripture that Brahma himself will take the responsibility of a guru and teach the people who reach Brahma Loka about Jnana. Because without that Jnana, that I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, without understanding that, it is not possible to get liberation at all. Even if somebody goes to Brahma Loka, he has got to have a realization that I am Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnanam Brahma. All those Tattvam Asi, so all those Mahavakyas which tell that the Brahman and the individual self are same, that understanding should come. Understanding in the self, the ignorance of one's self should be fully cleared. Then only the person will get realized. So even in Brahma Loka also, it is not that he will be able to straightaway get realized. He will get the kind of knowledge there. Knowledge alone will be able to make a person to get moksha. So Bhagavan now starts this chapter now. Idam means this. Okay, the second word is using tu. Tu means however or but. So when he is now starting the chapter with however, what does this however mean? So in the earlier chapter, he was talking about the kinds of challenges that one may have in terms of achieving moksha. He talked about that kind of upasana, which is very, very difficult. He talks about the two paths that is to be taken by people. And then he also talked about Brahma, Krama-mukti, etc. All those things he has talked about. Now all of us may feel that it is extremely difficult to get moksha. So, but now Bhagavan says tu. However, idam means in this case this. This means whatever he was talking so far, that is this Brahman, this reality or this Ishvara. Idam tu, on that, say to you, Guhyatamam Pravakshyam Anasuyave. I am going to provide you with the highest secret. Pravakshyami. Vakshyami means I'll tell. Pravakshyami means I'll tell you in detail. Okay. So I am going to tell you, my dear Arjuna, I have talked about a lot of things, but now I tell you the highest secret in detail to you, but he's addressing Arjuna as Anasuyave. Suyave means Asuyave. Asuyave means Asuya. Asuya means a person who has got defect. Okay. For example, Shankaracharya gives a very nice explanation of Asuya. Asuya means Guneshu doshanu darshanam. A person has got excellent qualities. Okay. But people only try to identify some kinds of defects in him. For example, Stephen Hawking, I think all of you may have heard about Stephen Hawking. He was one of the greatest physicists of the 20th century. And he had only talked about this black hole and then the quarks, the quantum theory and all. But that person is extremely great scientist. But the person was crippled because of some kind of disease that he had right from childbirth. And he used to sit in a kind of wheelchair only he'll be operating. He cannot talk congruently. He had heads was drooping down, etc. So people do not, if they say Stephen Hawking, great scientist, they don't stop at that. They say Stephen Hawking, that person who was crippled. Okay, so the Guneshu dosha darshanam, that is the normal tendencies of people is to identify some of these kinds of defects and only identify. They don't talk about the greatness of people. Even for Karna, what they say is that Karna was one of the best persons in terms of charity. He was an excellent archer. He was an excellent person. But unfortunately, right from his birth, he was told that he is not a Kshatriya and he is born to a charioteer. So what happened was that despite all these great qualities that was there in Karna, he was identified to be a charioteer's son, and that became Asuya for him. That became a kind of inferiority complex that has come into Karna. Whereas in the case of Arjuna, there's absolutely nothing that can be found in terms of dosha. He's absolutely pure guy. Okay, we'll be talking in 13th chapter about 20 different values. If you look at those kinds of values, Arjuna had all of them. Even if you go to Duryodhana and ask him, okay, Arjuna, do you think he's a good, valiant archer? You will say, yes, he's a valiant archer. Do you think Arjuna is a dharmic person? You will say, yes, he's a dharmic person. Do you think Arjuna is a person who is compassionate? He will say yes. He will say yes for everything. He will never find any fault with Arjuna, but he had got only an enmity with Arjuna, but he will not be able to find any kind of fault. So he is using the word Anasuyave to tell that Arjuna is the person highest pure person. And what does he say? Jnanam Vijnana Sakitam. I will provide you Jnanam. The Jnanam can be an indirect knowledge. In fact, this chapter number 7 we studied at length, Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Okay, that is indirect knowledge and direct knowledge, which is Apara Prakriti and Para Prakriti. We have dealt in detail in the case of 7th chapter. So, Jnana Vijnana Sahitam. I told you that the 8th chapter was a kind of chapter which came in because Arjuna had some kinds of questions about Adiyajnam, Adibhutam, Adidevam, Adhyatmam. All those questions he had at the end of the 7th chapter. So, Bhagavan had to give this explanation. Otherwise, the Jnana Vijnana Yoga after 7th chapter should have continued to this also. So he said, along with Jnanam and Vijnanam, Jnana Vijnana Sahitam, I'll tell you, Yad Jnatva, once you understand that, Moksha say, you will get free, you will get liberated. From where? Ashubha, from inauspiciousness. Shubham is supposed to be auspicious. Ashubham means inauspicious. Okay, so what does the Ashubha means? Shubham means, if you look at, even if you write a small book, many books and all, they are writing it, at the end of the day, at the end of the last page, they'll put Shubham. That means everything has ended well. All that ends well, they put Shubham. Okay. Whereas in this particular case, if a person has lived a life of 85 years and then his life is over, that is also ended. That is also, the chapter is over for the person. And that also is Shubham only. But what we think is Ashubham, because the chapter has not ended and the life is going to continue because there's going to be a rebirth again. So we may consider that to be Ashubha. A person is Ashubha because he's again and again getting birth. Whereas Bhagavan said that I teach you that knowledge with which you will be able to get yourself liberated and you will come out of the inauspiciousness. Okay. So I'll teach you that. So what he is now telling is that the 8th chapter, whatever we talked, was in a very different kind of a chapter, which might have made Arjuna to feel that it is extremely difficult to understand what it is. But now Bhagavan says that, don't worry, I'll teach you in detail about this jnana with the help of jnana, direct and indirect knowledge. Para and apara, both the things I'll use and then teach you, which on knowing you'll be able to get liberated. You'll be able to come out of all the sufferings of this mortal world. That's what he's telling in the first shloka. He's just setting it up. Next.
Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam.
Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam.
Pavitramidamuttamam.
Pavitramidamuttamam. Pavitramidamuttamam.
Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. Pavitramidamuttamam.
Raja Vidya Raja Gruhyam. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. Pavitramidamuttamam. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. Pavitramidamuttamam.
Good. Next.
Lakshmi BV Bhagini.
Pratyakshavagamam dharmyam.
Pratyakshavagamam dharmyam. Pratyakshavagamam dharmyam.
Susukam kartumauvyayam.
सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम् सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्
प्रत्यक्षावगमन् धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्
प्रत्यक्षावगमन् धर्म्यम् सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम् प्रत्यक्षावगमन् धर्म्यम् सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्
उषा श्रीनिवासन भगिनी
राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम्
राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम् राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम्
Good. Next.
राजेश्वरी शिवशंकर
प्रत्यक्षावगमन् धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्
प्रत्यक्षावहमं धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम् प्रत्यक्षावगमन् धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्
Good.
विजयलक्ष्मी राजेश कुमार भगिनी
First line 2 times.
राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम् राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम्
Good. Next.
अनुपमा भट्ट भगिनी
Second line 2 times.
प्रत्यक्षावगमन् धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम् प्रत्यक्षावगमन् धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्
Good. Next.
शीला शिंदे भगिनी
Completed.
सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्
Good.
शीला
Next.
शिंदे भगिनी
Two shloka slowly once.
राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम् प्रत्यक्षावगमन् धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्
Good. Next.
मृणालिनी भगिनी
राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम् प्रत्यक्षावगमन् धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्
Good. Next.
गुरुमूर्ति महोदय
Yes.
Full shloka.
राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम् प्रत्यक्षावगमन् धर्म्यं सुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्.
Good. Next.
ललिता के भगिनी
राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम् प्रत्यक्षावगमन् धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्.
Good. Next.
वीणा पाणिश्री भगिनी
राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम् प्रत्यक्षावगमन् धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्
Good.
सुसुखं
Next.
कर्तुमव्ययम्
काश्मीरा भगिनी
Yes, sir. राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम् प्रत्यक्षावगमन् धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्
Good. One more person.
डॉक्टर श्रीलक्ष्मी भगिनी
Yes, sir. राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम् प्रत्यक्षावगमं धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्.
Okay. So when you look at Raja Vidya, see when you say Alfonso mangoes in Maharashtra is called the king of mangoes. So when you say it's king of mangoes is Alfonso, then what do we mean? There's nothing else which will be able to compete with Alfonso in terms of taste and texture and fragrance. It is the ultimate. If you want to eat mango, ultimate is only Alfonso. So we say it's a Raja, the king of mangoes, we say Alfonso. So when you say Raja Vidya, king of knowledge, so what can be king of knowledge? For example, you can say that the knowledge which will be able to ensure a person is going to be free from his suffering can be the highest knowledge. Why do we say this? So suppose let us take, for example, a person who has done his master's from Stanford University and then got into, at the age of 25, got into one of the topmost tech companies in San Francisco area and is getting $400,000. Okay. When you look at it from the perspective of what he has accomplished and what he has got in terms of job reward, we may think that he has achieved fantastic things. But if you ask a question whether he is free from suffering, the question will be no. You may have everything, material life, everything is possible for us, but material life is not going to ensure the person will not be having any suffering at all. So the knowledge, whatever he's got in terms of education and excellent university and excellent degree and excellent job, so the knowledge he got in computer science, that knowledge was able to get a job, but that knowledge will not be able to get the suffering and other problems out of his life. They will have a problem. You may have lot of technology people, lot of scientists from BRC or NASA, they are not having a very happy life. The reason is that the knowledge, whatever they got, is not able to take away the sufferings. So, but the knowledge, what Bhagavan says that I am going to give is going to take you out of the sufferings. That is the reason why it's called the Raja Vidya, highest of knowledge. And the next thing he's telling is Raja Guhyam. Guhyam is secretive. Why do they say secretive knowledge? Now we all talk about Tattvamasi, we have Aham Brahmasmi. This is all open. Any Bhagavad Gita book you open, then immediately you see this knowledge. Any Upanishad book you open, you have this knowledge. Why should this knowledge be told as secretive? The reason why it is called secretive is that it is available. It is something like, you got a Chupa Chupi game. No, they have hide and seek game. The hide and seek game, you know the person, you know that he had hidden himself in some place, or you take best example, treasure hunt. Treasure hunt kind of game, they keep some valuable thing in some place and they'll give all kinds of clues for that. You go and find it out. So what you do is you keep going round and round. You know what is also be kept there, some kind of valuable thing, but it is not available for you to get. Okay. So it becomes a secretive thing. When it is something that is not available for you, it becomes secretive. Or somebody keeping the glasses on the top and searching for the glasses. They will search all over the place, but they will not be able to get. It is only that they have to know that the glass is right here, I have to wear it. That becomes so easy. So this is called Raja Guhyam because we were talking in the previous chapter that the person has got to sit like this, and then in the time of death, they have to keep their legs straight and then compose the mind, then dissolve it into the self, and then chant Om, and then leave the prana, all those things we saw. What Bhagavan says is that why all those difficulties, why don't you understand that your own true nature is Brahman? You are there, you are already a Brahman. Just recognize that the glass is already there on you. Just take it and wear it. So Bhagavan says that it is available, it is right with you. It is not but you are not able to still know it. Just because it is right with you, right in front of you, right within you, when you cannot locate it, it becomes a secret. You are going round and round and round. You are looking for the car key everywhere, but it is just there inside your pocket. So Bhagavan says it is like this, because you are all running round, which is just there. The consciousness is there in you. That consciousness is only you. Please understand this. That we are not able to understand. So he says it's a Raja Guhyam. So he says it's a Raja Vidya. Raja Vidya is because the knowledge about the self is the highest knowledge, because it is going to remove the sufferings of the individual. And Guhyam, it is secretive, it is not easily understood. Though it is available so easy, it is very difficult because we are not prepared for it. So Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram. He says is Pavitram. Pavitram is purifying. Uttamam, it is one of the superior purifying knowledge is this particular knowledge. So when you look at Pavitram, we need to just take some time to understand what is Pavitram. Pavitram is purification. So if you look at that way, every day we have a bath in the morning. And sometimes we also have a bath in the evening when it is very hot. So every day we have a bath and we feel that we have cleaned ourselves up. Next day morning, the Pavitram does not continue. Again, you have to have a bath. So if you look at a Stula Sarira, the kind of purification process is only bath every day, morning, evening, or every day you have to have a very good bath and keep yourself clean, keep your other thing, whatever needs to be kept clean, you have to keep. But that has got to be done every other day. So that is for the Stula Sarira. Sukshma Sarira is what? The Sarira that is inside, which is subtle body. For subtle body, how do we purify subtle body? It is by prayer. You can do a prayer, you can do a meditation, you can do some kind of charity, etc. So when you do all those kinds of things, what happens is that the mind gets purified. Mind is a part of subtle body. So there is a purification process that is required for the subtle body, which is not perceptible to us, perceptible generally to others, is by the process of meditation, prayers, then good karya, upasana, reading scriptures, listening to satsangs, etc. It's a purification process. The mind has got to be cleansed. Otherwise, the mind has got accumulated dirt of the past. What are the dirts of the past? I think we already discussed the Shat Vairi. Kama, Raga, Kama, Loba, Moga, Mada, Matsarya, all those kinds of things are there. It's all sitting in the mind. We got hate sitting in the mind. We got anger sitting in the mind. Kama, Krodha, Loba, Moga, Mada, Matsarya. All those things are sitting in the mind, which is all sitting in the mind. It is like a kind of a glass which is totally clouded with dirt. You cannot see anything there. So you cannot see the pure Atma within you when the mind is going to be totally dirty. So how do you clean the mind? Cleaning the mind is by the process of meditation, process of understanding scriptures, process of prayer, etc. So this is for the Sukshma Sarira. There's one more Sarira called Karana Sarira, which I will not discuss in detail because it's a very big topic for discussion. The Karana Sarira is primarily ignorance. What ignorance we all have? Ignorance that we all have is that we do not know ourselves. The ignorance, we are not able to understand our own self is ignorance because of Karana Sarira, which is absolute ignorance. It's called causal body. Okay. So what happens is that by having this particular knowledge, the ignorance is removed. When the ignorance is removed, then you are able to have your own self-knowledge immediately available for you. That is what is called Pavitram. Pavitram is Stula, Sukshma, and then Karana. Stula is by just bath and other kinds of things. Sukshma is primarily by meditation and prayers. Karana Sarira is only by having knowledge and removing the ignorance that we all have, not understanding as to what is our true nature. Our true nature itself, Aham Brahmasmi, Brahman. So this particular Raja Vidya, which is going to provide them with the true knowledge of who he is. And then it is what it is, Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha means what? Directly perceptible. It is known. Supposing I am seeing something here, Pratyaksham. I know it is. I already understood this. There's no need for any further understanding. Straight away I look at it, I understand what it is. I understand what I like, look at it, I know what it is. So, but only thing is that certain things are perceptible to the human five sensory perceptions. But in this particular case, avagamam, this is something beyond indriyas. Now, we already studied that also. What is that? It is beyond perception by indriyas. Manobuddhi, indriya, atindriyam or something we studied in the earlier chapters. So, but what happens is that by having the mind and buddhi, it is possible to have a direct understanding and direct recognition of that. That is complete, direct, and immediate. Immediately you can recognize. It's not that you have to wait for ages. It is possible for immediate and direct appreciation, recognition of the true self or consciousness in you. That's what Pratyaksha Avagamam Dharmyam. That teaching, Susukam Kartum Avyayam. Susukam Kartum means It can be done so easily. Bhagavan says that it is so easy. Once I know that this is a mouse, in my the ignorance, I did not know what it was around 15 years back because I did not know what the mouse was. Then I understood what a mouse is. Once the ignorance of what it was 15 years back is removed, the entire life I will not forget this. So once this ajnana is removed, then you will never have any problem of the same ignorance coming back to you. So, and he says it's very easy also. Susukam kartum, it is not even, sukam is easy. Susukam is very easy. He says it's absolutely easy. Kartum, it is very easy to achieve. Avjayam, once you have understood that, you will never forget it. It is already understood by you. Nothing in the world can shake you and then make you to not believe it. So it is only that, and that kind of knowledge, Raja Vidya, Rajaguhyam, Avitram Vidamuttamam, Pratyaksham, Avagamam, Dharmyam, Susukam, Kartumavayam. So I'll teach you this. That's what Bhagavan is telling to Arjuna. He says that otherwise you say Brahmaloka, then Krama, Mukti, all those kinds of things. But now I tell you how you can straight away try to understand your own true nature, because the true nature is you. You have to only know yourself. You don't have to go to Brahma and sit with him and all. I am telling you right now, you can understand. Once you do that right now, then you are able to understand yourself, then you become a Jivan Mukti. Once you are a Jivan Mukti, then your individual ego and individual ego is gone. The Jivatva of Jivatma is gone. When the Jivatva is gone, all the past karmas which are attached to Jivatva is gone. Then you have got no karma with you. You already understood yourself. Then Prarabdha will take you for some more time till the body falls. Then you are already a part of the Brahman. So that's what Bhagavan says. Why do you struggle? Susukam kartum avjayam. Pratyaksha Avagavam. So it's very easy. I'll teach you. In the earlier Shloka, he told Pravaksham Anasuyave. I'll teach you. Next.
Bhanureka Bhagini.
Ashraddadana Purushaha.
Asraddadana Purushaha. Asraddadana Purushaha.
Dharmasyasya Parantapa.
Dharmasyasya Parantapa. Dharmasyasya Parantapa.
Ashraddadana Purushaha. Dharmasyasya Parantapa.
Asraddadana Purushaha. Dharmasyasya Parantapa. Asraddadana Purushaha. Dharmasyasya Parantapa.
Good. Next.
Sharachavan Mahodaya.
Aprapyaman nivartante.
Aprapyamani vartante. Aprapyamani vartante.
Mrityu samsara vartmani. Chant it 2 times. Mrityu samsara vartmani.
Okay, sir. Mrityu samsara vatmani. Mrityu samsara vartmani.
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 Aprapyaman nivartante. Mrityu samsara vartmani.
Aprapyamani vartante. Mrityu samsara vartmani. Aprapyamani vartante. Mrityu samsara vartmani.
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 Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
Ashtadadana Purushaha. Dharmasyasya Parantapa.
Ashaddadana Purushaha Dharmasyasya Parantapa. Ashaddadana Purushaha Dharmasyasya Parantapa.
Good. Next.
Usha Srinivasan Bhagini.
Aprapyaman nivartante. Mrityu samsara vartmani.
अप्राप्यमाननिवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि अप्राप्यमाननिवर्तन्ते
Not mana. It is not mana. Man nivartante. Instead of mam, you say man because the next word starts with na, ni. No. So aprapya man nivartante, not mana. Man nivartante.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
अप्राप्यमान् निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि अप्राप्यमान् निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि.
Good. Next.
Rajeshwari Shivshankar Bhagini.
First line 2 times.
अश्रद्धधानः पुरुषः धर्मस्यास्य परन्तप अश्रद्धधानः पुरुषाः धर्मस्यास्य परन्तप.
Good. Next.
Vijayalakshmi Rajesh Kumar Bhagini.
Second line 2 times.
Okay. अप्राप्यमान् निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि अप्राप्यमान् निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि.
Good. Next.
Anupama Bhatt.
Two shloka once.
अश्रद्धधानाः पुरुषाः धर्मस्यास्य परन्तप अप्राप्यमान् निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि.
Good. Next.
Sheila Shinde Bhagini.
Two shloka once.
अश्रद्धधाना पुरुषाः धर्मस्यास्य परन्तप अप्राप्यमान् निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि.
Okay, you can say dharmasyasya.
धर्मस्यास्य अश्रद्धधाना पुरुषाः धर्मस्यास्य परन्तप अप्राप्यमान् निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि.
You can also say aprapya. Aprapya, instead of that, you say aprapya. Ashraddha, aprapya, like that. Not apra. Aprapya.
अप्राप्यमान् निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि.
Yeah, next.
Mrinalini Bhagini.
Two shloka once.
अश्रद्धधाना पुरुषाः धर्मस्यास्य परन्तप अप्राप्यमान् निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि.
Good. Next.
Kurumurti Mahodaya.
Yes. अश्रद्धदाना पुरुषाः धर्मस्यास्य परन्तप अप्राप्यमान् निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि.
Good. Next.
Lalita K. Bhagini.
अश्रद्धधानाः पुरुषाः धर्मस्यास्य परन्तप अप्राप्यमान् निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि.
Good. Next.
Veena Panisri Bhagini.
अश्रद्धदानाः पुरुषाः धर्मस्यास्य परन्तप अप्राप्यमान् निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि.
Good. One more person.
Kashmira Bhagini. Dr. Sri Lakshmi Bhagini.
Yes, sir. अश्रद्धधाना पुरुषाः धर्मस्यास्य परन्तप अप्राप्यमान् निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि.
So we go to the meaning of this shloka. In fact, Bhagavan has told similar kind of things in many shlokas in the earlier chapters also. Anyhow, we'll once again take it. Ashraddadana Purushaha. Those people who do not have that kind of faith. Okay. Faith in what? Dharmas, Asya Dharmasya. Asya Dharmasya. Here we should not take Dharma as the righteous act. It should be taken as the teachings. The teaching so far, whatever I have told or whatever is told in our Vedic and Upanishad texts, etc., those people who do not have any Shraddha, Ashraddadana Purushaha, Asya Dharmasya, in these particular teachings, Aprapya, they will not be able to gain. What they will not gain? Bhagavan says that they will not be able to gain me. When Bhagavan says Mam here, he is not talking as Krishna, who is the charioteer here, but he is talking that I am the Parameshwara, I am the Ishvara, I am the Brahman. If people do not have any kind of Shraddha in what they do, in terms of understanding this particular knowledge, this teaching, Dharmasya, Asya Dharmasya, Aprapya, they will not be able to get me. Get me means get that, they will be able to know themselves, know the Brahman. Then what happens to them? Nivartante. They will not be able to get released from a life of cycles of birth and death. So they come back. Mrityu samsara vatmani. Come back for what? They come back for a life cycle of birth and death. Mrityu. But here he is not telling that janma samsara vatmani. Because when you say birth, no, all of us, we feel very happy. No, always birth is associated with happiness. Death is supposed to be, always we think that death is a fear. But Bhagavan uses the word mrityu here. He says that you come back to the cycle of death. Because he says death is primarily, it's a question of pain, dukkha. So he says that instead of telling that, if he says that you come into a life of janma, janma vartmani means that, life of born, happiness in terms of born, birth is always happiness. But he has told, you come back into the dukkha of samsara, mrityu samsara vartmani, nivartante, you again come back. So here he says, Ashtraddadana Purushaha, those who do not have a faith. Now, if you look at the kind of learning of spiritual things, like whatever we are doing here, what the Shastra says is that one is the Shastras are there. We have got Vedas, we have got Upanishads, we have got Bhagavad Gita, etc. And then, first thing is that we need to have access to the available knowledge. So all of us have got access to the available knowledge. One. Second thing is that it is been told in many of the things that what many of the big acharyas have written is that it is not enough for a person to just look at the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in some of the books and read. It is not possible to understand. People all require somebody who will be able to guide them to understand that. For example, as simple Shloka, whatever is the text that translation that is given might not be sufficient. That is the reason Adi Shankaracharya decided that it is not sufficient to explain the meaning of what has been really told by Bhagavan. So he wrote a very big bhashyam. Bhashyam is extreme in detail for every shloka he has written. And many of the things that we get from various missions, the Chinmaya mission, or Dayananda Saraswati mission, or Ramakrishna mission, those texts are all taking Adi Shankara's bhashyam. Bhashyam is detailed writing among these shlokas. That is what we are now discussing. Otherwise, when you straight away look at the meanings, you will not be able to understand. So it is always recommended that whenever we do this kind of learning, more than just understanding and reading to the book, it is essential for people to go to different kinds of places where such discussions take place by some Mahatmas. If you go to many of the ashrams, Ramakrishna ashram, or Chinmaya ashram, or many places, then the Mahatmas will be talking on that, and we have to go there and only understand these kinds of shlokas. Just having a Bhagavad Gita book and then finding 4 lines underneath and reading it, we will not be able to understand that. So one is access to the knowledge is very, very important. Second thing is that access to a good teacher is also very important. So you may have to really, after this class is over, you all may have to perhaps identify some good acharyas or somebody in some of these big institutions who will be able to help you in terms of learning much more in terms of these beautiful teachings of our own scriptures. The third most important thing that is required in terms of Shraddha is faith. Faith means, instead of calling it as a Shraddha as faith, we should tell it as a value. Somebody should have a value for these kinds of things. Supposing I got a Bhagavad Gita book in the house and I only value this and many other people are not valuing this, no, it cannot happen. Then they will not be able to get this knowledge. So the individual who is striving for this knowledge, he should have an access to the knowledge. He should have a value for this knowledge, and he should also have a very good teacher who will be able to guide him to the text at least, so that they'll be able to understand these things very well. So people who are not having this kind of Shraddha, those kinds of Purushas, in these kinds of, not having Shraddha in these kinds of teachings, they will not be able to achieve myself. They will not be able to reach Bhagavan. That's what he says. Mam, aprapya mam, nivartante, they come back and then get back into the cycle of death. Cycle of death. They'll die, born, die, death, birth, the cycle will continue. That's what Bhagavan has told in this. So in the first three slokas, Bhagavan has just set the context for what he wants to discuss in the subsequent verses in the chapter. Probably we'll start the next sloka next week. Okay. So I thought of taking 4 slokas, but I think I'm not able to find the time for the next sloka. We'll start with 3 slokas and then we'll continue next week. Okay. I'll chant these slokas and close the day. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha Atha Navamodhyayah Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yogaha Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Idam Tute Guhyatamam Pravakshyam Yanasuyave Jnanau Vijnana Sahitam Yajnatva Moksyate Shubhat Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramidamuttamam Pratyakshavagaman dharmyam Susukham kartumauvyayam Ashtadadana purushaha Dharmasyasya parantapa Aprapyaman nivartante Mrityu samsara vartmani Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Live streaming can be stopped.
Okay, Magadya. Kamachi Bagini, can you stop the live?